Hey guys, so today what I want to do is I want to show you guys how I built my origami disposable reusable bathtub, and that's it right there. Believe it or not, it folds up like that, and it just takes up almost no space at all, and it's disposable, reusable. So I think it turned out pretty well, and I'll show you what I did. So what I want to do and how I want to make this shower tub is I want to make an origami shower tub, and I want it to be potentially disposable. This is I got from the Home Depot. It's just plastic sheeting. It's thicker. It's not real thin. It's not the type of stuff that you use to throw away immediately. So it's pretty thick. So this is one of the options that you can use for the tub, and this is what I had originally planned to use. But when I went on Amazon to buy a shower curtain, I saw this 3-pack for I think $9 or something. 3-pack of shower curtains for $9. So what I want to do actually is I want to use one of the shower curtains as a shower curtain and the other shower curtain as the bathtub. So instead of this plastic sheeting, I'm going to use this vinyl sheeting, which I think it's a little bit thicker, and I think it's going to be a little bit more durable. Actually, I don't know if it's a little thicker, but because it's vinyl, I think it's going to be a little bit more durable. But I'll leave a link to this, and I'll leave a link to this if you guys are interested in any of those. But you could use either one. The concept is going to be exactly the same for what I'm going to do. And I got a bulkhead, and I'll leave a link onto this too. It's a 3/4 bulkhead, and it fits inside the drain hole perfectly. There's actually not perfectly. It's there's room. I mean, you could even use a 1-inch or a 1.5-inch maybe. But this leads to a 3/4-inch pipe. So I'm going to have this 3/4-inch pipe go in here. This one's threaded. It doesn't have to be threaded. You could use the slip one too. But all I need is actually even this much of the thread, and that's all the height that I actually need on this. Oops, I have it on the wrong side, but that's all the additional height that I actually need on this. I did have it on the right side. And I'll show you what I mean. So, screw that in. And that was all the additional height that I needed. So I just missed it. So I have this bulkhead, and again, I'll leave a link on the description for you. But this is a marine bulkhead, so it's very small. It leads to a 3/4-inch tubing, and what worked out really well was that fits perfectly in there. It fits snug. You can pull it out, but it's snug, which is important to what I want to do, and I'll show you what I mean. So I'm going to make the tub, and then I'm going to put this as the drain of the tub, and then we'll install it. So that'll come afterwards. So I'll install this guy first, and then I'll make the tub using this, and then it'll slide right into that. All right, so I installed the bulkhead, and you can see the bulkhead in the hole. And if you look at a previous video, you could see when I did the flooring that I prepared for this situation, and I drilled this hole to get to this hole underneath the Sienna that's covered with this rubber cap. I just removed the rubber cap, and I'm able to get this bulkhead in, and you could see the outside world, so it's going to drain perfectly fine. Oops, I didn't line it up straight. You could see some daylight, but I'm going to move it over and then screw it in. So a few years ago, while I was building my element, I introduced my dog bath shower, which a number of people on YouTube have started using now, so that's really cool. And I could use the same dog bed shower. I mean, you can look at the video up here if you like. I could do the same thing, but one thing I didn't want to do was didn't want to lose any space. So there's basically two sizes of the dog bath shower. One is too big, and one was a little smaller. So I want to maximize this whole area right here. And the nice thing about this area is it's shaped a little bit like a tub. So what I want to do today is do a origami bathtub. Yeah, you heard me, like paper folding origami stuff. And you can look at the video up here for just folding a origami box. And that's basically the concept of what I want to do, is to make an origami box that's custom, that will fit this spot perfectly. So if I do that origami type thing, it'll be basically the full size of what I have here. I can just kind of lay it out like this, but it's not going to be as cool as an origami bath. Okay, so after working with this material a little bit for mocking it up, believe it or not, this shower curtain is actually a flimsier, skinnier material than this tarp. So I'm going to go back to plan A and use this tarp. It's a indoor-outdoor tarp, so it's pretty sturdy, and it's thicker than this and more durable than this. It's actually really thin. So I'm going to take out this idea and then go back to plan A. All right, so what I did was I put these boards. It's basically leftover flooring from my van, the flooring on the van, just leftover sheets. But it's a little thicker than I prefer, but it's still good enough. So I'm going to use that as the sidewall, as the two longer sidewalls, so it'll be nice and strong. So I'm going to use that origami method. And since this is not paper, the crease won't hold. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold it down with some packaging tape. Fold this back. Fold this back. And okay, so what I'm gonna take this out and stick it in here. I think that'll work better. Like I said, first time I'm doing it with you guys. And then I'll tape this side down. Put it through this side. Alright, so then it opens up like that, and you got yourself an origami shower. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this down before I open it up so it doesn't come apart, because that's what I saw happening. Alright, so let's open it up again and see. And there you go. That's going to be the bathtub. And I'm going to do a little bit more taping around the sides just to make sure everything holds in a little bit better. Alright, so there you go. So when I open it up, I want these side walls to kind of flex to keep the bath open. So let's put it in and see how it fits. All right, so I could have measured it maybe a little bit better, made it a little bit more tight, but I think it's actually pretty good. I don't really need the supports on the side because those side walls are there. Let's take a closer look. Okay, so here's what it looks like on the inside. There's going to be some creases, but that's okay. I'll move the crease over here. And here's what it looks like on the back side. With that holding up, I'll probably do some kind of mechanism just to hold this wall up on this side and on that side, and it'll hold out pretty nicely, and it's definitely going to be watertight. And the idea is that when I'm not using the shower, is that I would just fold it up like that. So that's the beauty of this. So I'm going to put in the drain and then give it a shot. So for the drain, I'm going to mark this hole right in the center where I want it to be. And then I'm going to take this out and then put in that drain. Nothing fancy for the hole. I just cut it out with the scissors and I'm going to put in the drain. I already see that I cut the hole too small. I cut it to the size of this and not the thread. So I'm going to have to cut it a little bit bigger. Stick it in. Tighten up the other side. Alright, then we have our drain. Let's stick it in and make sure it's tight. I don't want it to leak, but let's put it in and give it a shot. Alright, so I installed it. There it is. The drain lines up just like we planned. Next up, let's put some water in to make sure it's watertight. Alright, so I got a bunch of water. And let's make sure everything's watertight. I could hear it draining out underneath. Fine. I don't see why it wouldn't be watertight, but let's let this thing finish up and then we'll check the bottom. Yep, everything's still looking good. So the nice thing about having a non-hard tub is because when you're camping, you have campsites, you're just never going to be level. So even if you're not level, that's going to be okay because you're going to be able to lift up the tub and then just get the last remaining bits of water by just raising it up a little bit and getting it all to drain out. So it looks good. So next up, I'm going to need to have curtains and a water dispenser. All right, you guys remember how I wanted to pack this thing up, so what I'm going to do is just pack it up for now and then work on the shower curtain. All right, so nothing fancy for the shower curtain at all. I'm just using these little squeeze clamps to clamp it, seat belt, table, and it makes a nice barrier. And of course this one, when the doors close, I'll be able to clamp it onto something over there. But you get the point of what it looks like. So this is what it looks like on the inside. Of course you got to make sure that it goes below the tub, of course, right, so that it doesn't spill out. But that's the way it's going to look. And for taking a shower, what I'm going to use is the same thing I use for the Element. It's this handy dandy stool. It's plastic, so it's no problem with water. You put it down right there, you climb in, you sit down, and you take your shower, and there's actually, you know, a decent amount of space when you close this. You know, the door only goes up to around right here, so it's not like the door is right up against me. The lift gate will actually be here, so I have some room over here too. You know, that's one of the reasons why I made the bed extension foldable, so that I could have this extra space, or else the bed would have started coming out over here. So that's the way the shower curtain is going to be. So next is the water dispenser, and I actually have 4 ideas, and I'll show you guys all 4 ideas. And this I just built recently, and it's going to work perfectly for the water containers, water dispenser stands. All right, it's time to demo the shower with some running water, and I'm going to jump on in and then show you guys 4 different ways that you can shower. All right, so method number 1 is the simplest and cheapest, is just having water bottles. And these are just 1 liter bottles, but I would recommend using a 2 liter bottle. I don't have any 2 liters to demo for you. I only got 2 1 liters, but what you can do is have this, put on this nozzle. This nozzle is really cheap. I used it in my previous element build. I'll leave a link for it for you up. So basically it's just this nozzle. You just take off the top and screw this on, and basically you're set. So if you do use 1 liter bottles, you'll probably need a couple, so I recommend a 2 liter bottle. I just leave that on. You could take it off to get a little bit more air circulation, but you know, basically you're gonna get a pretty good steady flow, quite a bit of water, and, you know, it's up to you. You could use a 2 liter bottle that's bigger, or you could use a bunch of 1 liters that are easier to handle. So this is really, this is probably the simplest, you know, cheapest solution that you could have. Of course, you could just, you know, go without the top, but you'll probably waste too much water. So this will regulate and not give you more water than you need. So, you know, it works fantastic. It's really cheap, and it's really effective. You could put the cap back on to transport water. So that's method number 1, and it might be my favorite, but it's definitely not the most exciting. All right, so let me show you how the water bottles store. So the water bottles will store on the shelf real nice and easy, and yes, you could fit a 2 liter bottle no problem. So that's part of the reason why I didn't want to do this extra shelf here, is because I had these water bottles in mind. So it'll work out great for the shower. It sits in the perfect location. All right, so method number 2 is a little bit more fun, more exciting, and you've probably seen this before. I got this idea from other YouTubers. It's not my idea, but it's basically just a bug sprayer. And this is a 1 gallon bottle, and if you want to be able to put it here, you can't go bigger than 1 gallon for this setup. So basically what you just do is you give it some pumps. You could leave it on the floor if you like, or you could leave it on the shelf. But basically pretty simple, and as you lose water pressure, you give it a few more pumps. So whatever you like. The nice thing is that this is a 1 gallon container. It's self-contained. You know, I don't need to put on a cap or anything like that. It has a cap, so you just pump when you're ready to go. So that part of it's very nice. Travels well. You can take it around your campsite and use it for things other than showering, washing dishes or whatnot. So this is actually a really good option too, just having the bug sprayer pump. All right, so let me show you how it looks in storage. So it sits really nice. It fits really well. It's not completely flat on the ground over here, but it just tilts forward just a hair, but you know, no problem at all. It'll be nice and secure. It's not going anywhere. So, you know, and that's a 1 gallon bottle, so that stores a lot of water. So method number 3 doesn't reinvent the wheel. It uses what I already have. And you guys have seen the sink before and the pump, and remember when I said I wanted to make this thing removable and easily used elsewhere? Well, this is one of the applications. So I have 6 feet in this line, and I'll show you what it'll look like. And you know, I have a switch that controls it. So I'm going to turn on the switch and we'll demo it. All right, you guys know I got 10 feet of line coming from the other end, so I'll just bring over the faucet, mic there, have a seat, and take a shower with like this. Now the flow is a little bit faster, so you got to be careful, you know, that you don't use up all your water in no time. But you know, this doesn't reinvent the wheel, uses the pump I already have, and already I'm running out of water. Okay, so this last one is actually my favorite, and it's the one I'm probably going to use, you know, 95% of the time. And what I have here is a woolite bottle that I cleaned out. And the reason why I'm using this bottle is, one, because of the shape. The shape is very nice. It'll fit within my slot perfectly, and I'll show you that in a little bit. But number two, which is very important, is that it has this very big mouth. And that big mouth is going to allow me to easily boil some water, pour it in so that my shower will be a little bit warmer, and it could be hot, you know, depending on how hot you boil the water. So that's one reason it's nice to have the big mouth. But the other reason, which is even more important than that, because you know you could still pour in water with a smaller mouth, is this shower nozzle, and I'll leave a link in the description down low for it. But this is the pump. So the pump is a little bit big, and it won't fit a smaller mouth container, but it will fit this no problem. So that will sit in there. The other end is just a cigarette lighter type thing. I'm going to plug it in, and I'll show you how well that works. So I do have a port down there. It is on the other side of the tub, so it's not going to get wet. So what it comes with, this thing, is a little suction and a little hanger. But for right now, I don't have anything that will actually suction, that a suction will stick to, which kind of sucks, because if it does stick to here, that would be perfect. But I'll probably end up just drilling a hole. I haven't decided yet, and mounting it here. But for now, for this demo, I'm just gonna clamp it there. Okay, so one thing you can do, they do have rechargeable versions, but I recommend you get one that has a switch outside, because some of these rechargeable versions, the button is actually right on the pump itself, and that kind of sucks because you have to pull out the pump every time you want to turn it on and off. But this one, you just stick in, and there's a switch right here. Turn on the switch, wait till the water fills up, and you got a lot of water. If you want to be hands-free, you stick it up there, and let's see if I don't get wet. That's a serious shower. So let me show you how the water jug stores and how it looks there. All right, so now here's the bottle, and that's the way it stores. It stores great. It actually fits the contour that it has. So I could put 2 bottles there of water storage, not necessarily shower water, but just water storage in general, and it'll fit great. It's right where I need it. So that's the setup that I'm going to prefer, but it may not fit your needs, so whatever might work for you is great. All right, so now I'm gonna pack everything up. So first, all I have is this. And this chair folds like that. If you haven't seen one of these, I'll leave a link for this too if you're interested in that. And the nice thing about this chair is that it fits back here. So it fits back there great. Okay, so next up, I need to just put this away. And you just, depending on how wet it is, you could fold it up right away, or you could let it drain, drip some more. It's up to you. And if you're wondering, why do you have to buy a shower curtain at all? Why can't you just use that plastic sheeting? You can. And that plastic sheeting, as I mentioned, is thicker and more durable than this curtain. So if I could do it again, I probably wouldn't buy the curtain. I would just use the plastic sheeting for the tub and the shower curtain. And you know, that is no size at all. So now the shower, and you can see my guitar is here, and you know, I have no worries about that getting wet. It's a non-issue. Everything holds very fine. So if you're not level, of course, you could just get rid of whatever water is left by just lifting up the plastic. And again, everything's going to store like that, and it's going to store away clean, and I could still put a lot of gear down here, no problem. So, you know, that's my shower, and it's Miller time. No, I don't drink Miller, but you know what I mean.